Welcome to our channel. We're Todd and Marcy. In this episode, we continue our travels in Louisiana. While at our next campsite, we explore the area and do some paddling. But first, we share recent experiences while on our way to Oak Alley Plantation. So it is currently Thursday. Happy birthday, Rachel. December 5th. We are just leaving Bayou Signet State Park. Most of the time it was fairly quiet, but today we had a lot of noise. We found out that there was a racetrack, and surprisingly to us, there was quite a few mosquitoes out last night. So Todd was grilling hamburgers, and I know a lot of mosquitoes got in our RV, which, it's December, so we really weren't expecting that. What were some of your favorite things about New Orleans?
I just liked that gazebo cafe with the live music. It was definitely the highlight for me.
They played two Bill Withers songs that are favorites of ours. Lovely Day and Ain't No Sunshine. So that was really fun. Yeah, that was probably a highlight for me too. We were hoping for some live music, so that was nice. The architecture was just gorgeous. Since it's December, there wasn't a lot of people, so it was pretty comfortable just walking around. It didn't feel like you were bumping into people. Jackson Square Park was really, really pretty.
Yep.
And our jetpack for your remote work, our Verizon jetpack has been working out really well. So yeah. That's good. And we are headed currently to Oak Alley Plantation. We're going to get a tour there. Hopefully get a chance to visit I gotta look it up on the Google. Atchafalaya. So Atchafalaya River has some kayaking options there. Welcome to Oak Alley Plantation. Oh, Spanish, French, and English.
So there are 28 trees out here. The species that you see before you is a live oak. They are indigenous to the area, and they are 250 years old, but they were not planted here. While they're building the house in 1838, they went about a mile away, dug the trees up, brought them here, and transplanted them into this position.
Resurrection fern, you said, huh?
That's the species type. For doing this was, one is to hold it up a little bit, give a little more support. The other one is we didn't want it going into the garden. Antoine was a slave here. This is his work here. He designed it. It's best experienced in the spring when it is a sea of flowers all over the place. Everything out here basically blooms. Antoine's masterwork, though, is this thing right here. This is a thin-shelled pecan, paper-shelled pecan. He made them out in that field in 1848. His work on the pecan makes him the most successful person to have ever lived here, because those pecans spread all over the world in the late 19th century, and if you've eaten a pecan, good chance you ate his work.
The southern magnolia evergreen tree may grow as tall as 120 feet. Its scented white blossom was adopted as Louisiana's state flower in 1900.
The elephant ear is a native of Malaysia. Its perennial bulb is widely planted in the lower south because of its tropical exotic foliage.
The process of planting and growing sugarcane has changed a great deal in 2 centuries. State-of-the-art mechanized harvesters and tractors, equipped with onboard computers using satellite-directed global positioning technology, have created tremendous efficiencies for the industry.
For most of the enslaved people at Oak Alley, sugarcane crops dominated their time, but they also performed additional tasks throughout the year. Harvesting sugarcane is called the grinding. For over a month, cane was cut and hauled to the mill on ox carts. Between 1836 and the Civil War, over 220 people were enslaved at Oak Alley. This wall is a respectful recognition of those people on whose backs this plantation was built. While leaving Oak Alley Plantation, we stopped to get one last view of the live oaks and mansion from the back.
Going to the processing plant.
So tell us what you know about this.
I just know that those are the little chunks of sugarcane chopped in like 18-inch lengths going to the processing plant. They like strip the leaves off of them at the field and then chop the sections, and that's what goes to the processing plant, and they squeeze the living daylights out of them to get all the juice out, and then they start the processing of that juice to make sugar and molasses.
We just learned that, didn't we?
Yeah, I did not know how that was done. It's surprisingly complicated.
Yeah, we just got done touring the Oak Alley Plantation and learned a lot about sugarcane. And I think we were both surprised at how complicated of a process that was.
Yeah, there's sugarcane right there. We have corn everywhere. They have sugarcane everywhere.
Sugarcane, yeah. We were listening to a podcast about New Orleans. So I think it was in the 1700s. They were planting tobacco, and then that became not profitable, so then they switched to indigo, and then they switched to sugar. So we were at Oak Alley. I believe it was a plantation from the early 1800s, and they had just, an alley of live oaks. But there was one tree that the guide said was 400 years old. We couldn't get up close to that one, but the trees were just gorgeous. The acorns were little, though. We were kind of surprised at how little the acorns were. Yeah, we were also commenting about how, the house looks really big, and it is big, but it looks a little bit bigger on the outside than it is on the inside because they've got that surrounding balcony on the outside, and then inside it was like a large main hallway with just a few large rooms off to the sides. So it didn't feel like a lot of rooms, just roomy rooms. So that was interesting.
Probably because they had to keep a fire running in each one of the rooms to keep it warm. So each room had its own fireplace.
Yeah.
So there was like 4 rooms in the basement, or 4 rooms on the first floor and 4 rooms on the second floor. And that was it.
Yeah. And the guide talked about how they made the brick, kind of indicated locally.
Yeah, right from the Mississippi.
Yeah. So that was kind of interesting to hear about. The gardens were, really pretty. Of course, we're here in December, so it wasn't peak season for their flower gardens, but they just had, azaleas and roses and magnolias and a lot of really pretty plants. There were a few buds still on some of the bushes. They had the slave quarters on site there. They had 6 that they built. They weren't the original. I guess originally there were 20, and they put up 6 to give us a little bit of history. It was interesting to hear how one part of the plantation was kind of set aside for crops, and they grew watermelon and sweet potatoes and corn, and the corn was mainly grown so that they could sell that. What else did they grow? Watermelon,
Okra,
okra.
black-eyed peas.
We're now heading over to Cajun Country RV. We're gonna stay there for a while.
We arrived at Cajun Country RV Park at dusk, which gave us just enough light to unhitch and level the RV. Then we headed into Morgan City for dinner at the Galley and grocery shopping at Kanata's Market.
Tad's digging into a cordon bleu, and I'm digging into a Philly po' boy with some onion rings. Kanata's, always fresh, always local.
Creole mustard.
Interesting. Vinegar and brown mustard seed. Mustard greens, a can of them. Look how pretty. They already got their Christmas lights up. It's fun. Big Merry Christmas sign straight ahead. Oh, look at this. Boat's even lit up, Todd. We were noticing this on our way into town. Oh, they kind of go all out here, Morgan City.
The Port of Morgan City in Morgan City, Louisiana, has been an avenue of both domestic and international trade since 1957. Its docking and cargo handling facilities serve a wide variety of medium draft vessels. From here, U.S. exports can easily be shipped to ports of call in Mexico, Latin America, or the Caribbean. The current 21-foot seawall was built after the flood of 1973.
How pretty. So the Atchafalaya River has been very busy. Tugboats going. And you had a theory, Todd, about heavy loaded down going one direction.
Yeah, but I haven't figured it out yet. Not sure which direction when they're heavy. Because I have to see which barges, I have to see a barge going both directions.
One of the options for paddling. Oh, with the drone.
All right, I got to ask you some questions.
Todd's gonna go learn about the drone. You see the big sign with the alligator, right? Bayou, T-E-C-H-E. Tesh?
Tesh, like John Tesh.
We noticed that this is moving. These little islands of foliage. When we had seen them along the shore, we just thought they were part of the shoreline, and then all of a sudden they're drifting along. Today is Saturday, December, the 5th was Thursday, so it must be the 7th. And we're going to kayak. Been wanting to kayak in Louisiana, so we're gonna do that today. We're gonna go on the Atchafalaya River. We're gonna go that way. And then head back. So this will be fun. It's a little chilly. This is what we're gonna do this morning. We're something for him to videotape.
Yeah.
To talk about those crazy people from Wisconsin. Everything is gonna seem like an alligator.
Don't they know it's alligator feeding season? So you think that big pile of weeds that was moving, you think that was an alligator like moving and it was just like on his back?
Under disguise? Could be.
Wonder how close makes an alligator feel threatened.
commented that the Atchafalaya seemed like a really straight river.
Oh, when we went over that one bridge, yeah, it was like, almost looked like it had been dug as a canal or something, which maybe it was just straightened.
Yeah, and I had read that Atchafalaya meant long river.
Indian word?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
Native American language. It didn't say which one. All set now?
I have a mouse on my head.
Oh, that's true. I can edit that part out if you don't want to be shown with a mouse on your head.
No, it's in my vision. I don't care if it's on
Oh,
camera.
well, you can put it on the side.
Then it would be my ear. It's not a good place for a microphone. Don't you understand how these
Well,
work?
look what I've got in my vision.
I need a camera so I can videotape you. We have no proof that you look groovy.
Oh, but I do. You want me to get proof? I look goofy.
With your
And
crooked
then
visor
this
and your string hanging
This
down.
is what really sets it off as a pro at work here.
All right, well, we've cleared this area. There's no alligators. Kind of brave going closer to shore there.
I know, I was just thinking, this is kind of like
Chicken?
walking along a road. Does it need to be the opposite now? That you need to be on this side
the
to keep me
inside,
safe
yeah.
from the alligators and not the cars?
Yes, exactly right.
We haven't seen an alligator the whole time we've been here. The whole week that we've been in Louisiana.
If we did, I tell you, my heart would get racing real fast.
Yeah, be kind of exciting. Well, it decided to rain just a little bit. It's not very often that you'll find me in boots in a kayak or wearing gloves, and I swapped to my winter hat. Lamplighter Coffee House and Bistro. That's where we're headed. It looks like they've got like a farmer's market going on down here on Main Street. This is Franklin, the Historic District of Franklin. Oh, look at all these live oaks. Wow. It's gorgeous. Franklin, Louisiana is really cute. We don't see them by us. I wonder if that's because it's not warm enough.
I think my understanding of trees is constantly being challenged. I thought oak tree was like a very specific oak tree. I didn't know there were like
Types?
many kinds of oak trees, and by the way, their leaves are all different shapes. I don't know what the definition of an oak tree is. Like, seeds come from acorns?
What do you do when you get all those little acorns all over your yard and you need to go mow?
Find some squirrels.
It's got alligators.
You see the antlers on the alligators? See what they are?
No, what are they?
Lobster.
Oh. The spirit of Morgan City. Todd's doing some grilling. Got some chicken on the grill here. Marinated. And we're gonna do chicken salad for dinner this evening. So just kind of grabbed a package of lettuce. marinated our chicken, and then we're using the rest of the dressing. Maybe some guac on the side too. Real simple, easy dinner. It's the way to go when you're camping. All right, dinner's complete here. Looks yummy. So it's evening here at our campground, and we've been getting a lot of entertainment on the river here with the different boats taking different cargo up and down. This is the same river that we paddled today, Chafalaya.
The next day, it was time to continue our travels. We head for Cajun Heritage RV Park, making a stop along the way. Join us next time when, despite the rain, we explore Avery Island. And thanks for watching as we share our travels while out and about in Louisiana.